On Accra's biggest motivational breakfast, we're talking to Kwabena Obingdako this morning. I just told you about who he is, and this morning we're starting a very, very interesting discussion with him. For the next few minutes, we're going to be talking to him about how to develop your own mindset to start and build your own business in 2021. Now, it's very, very important that we know this, that sometimes, many of us start businesses. We want to start a business, we have the money. Sometimes we do not have the money, but we have the ideas, and at the end of the day it fizzles out for either of us. How do we start the business right from developing our mindset? Good morning, Kwabena.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Great. We're happy you agreed to join us on Sunny 88.7 FM this morning.
Okay.
So, Kwabena, let's get straight up into business. Your book, How to Develop Your Mindset to Build, or to Start and Build Your Business, is one that is very engaging. I don't know, against the backdrop of COVID-19, businesses collapsing, and then yesterday I was reading something that sometimes about 70% of startups even collapse in the very first year that it begins. I don't know if you can start with something for us for this year.
Okay. So thank you very much for the engagement. It's an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I use myself as an example. A typical Ghanaian who goes to school. So I went to school. I read science at the High School, and then I went to KNUST, read agriculture engineering, and then. When you complete school, you are looking for a job.
That's right.
That's the programming, and almost all of us, that's the thinking, because that is the content that we have had from the school. There are things that shape our thinking. School is one, the family, the entire culture, the media, the churches that we go to. They shape the way we think.
That's right.
If you look at the way we've been, we have a lot of graduates. We have a lot of people. When we complete school, the obvious option is to go and look for a job.
That's right.
Okay, and you look at the structure of our economy. So who are the ones creating the jobs? So we have a situation where we have told them that once you finish school, there is something somewhere that somebody has created that they will give you car, house,
Absolutely.
Then you can marry the next minute. But that's not the reality. At least that's not what I went through. You finish and you're looking for a job, and it's very tough, especially if you come from not so good family, or when you come from maybe a town or a village outside and you don't have any uncle who is big or any mother who is big who can easily write on their business card to say, go and show this to this man to give you a job.
Yeah, right.
So then I have which option? The next one will be, maybe then I have to travel outside the country. That's an option.
Yeah.
Or maybe I go back to school. Because then if I want to go to Makula to get a job, nobody will respect me. My friends will not respect me that I work for NTSC.
That's right.
Shop attendant.
That's right.
So the development of the mindset has to come from the fact that the school education that you have had, whether it's SHS or senior secondary school, university or polytechnic, the content is not designed for you to go and start your business. You don't have that, because the skill set largely is not there.
Yeah.
And then the mind to start a business is not there. Then the other thing is that you as an African, a lot of the content that we put out there, like the percentage that you gave, I'm sure is more American or European. A lot of the data that we have is not from our ground. So the 70% collapse in a year or 2 or 5 years is even on their side. Ours,
it can be bigger here.
It can be bigger, So it means that what do I have to do? I have to know that the school has not given me that information. So I have to find it myself. I have to develop the skill myself right in the school. So let's say if I was doing engineering, I would then go and see some weather somewhere and practice and go there maybe every now and then. Because by the time I finish school, then I have a technical skill that can give me a product. With product, I can take to the market. But if I don't have any of that, it becomes very difficult.
That's right.
So that is part of the programming. And that's why we have a lot of our people. When we tell us, go and start business, how do I start that?
Yeah.
So the next option will be maybe then I have to go and look for a service or a product that somebody has designed and take it to the market. I think that is the easiest way to get through.
That's right.
Because I don't have the skill, most of us, look at the course content that we have in our university. Even the sciences, much more the psychology, sociology, the information, the marketing, So we have really produced a generation that the only option is to get a job.
Wow.
And yet our economy is not that much stretched because it's more jobs come out of industrialization mainly. Companies producing. So if you don't have a lot of companies producing, then along the value chain, you don't have many job options.
Kwabena, so to somebody who probably is in their 30s, already out of school, because what you're saying means we need to hit it right from the beginning.
Yes.
But to somebody who is already in the 30s now and caught in the cycle and this year is looking to do something, how?
Okay, so we should know what we don't have and what we have. So let's say I'm in my 30s. It's likely that a bit education, of course, we are speaking English. So in our country, it's so likely that if you speak English and you understand, you have been to school to a certain level. So you should know what you don't have.
Yeah.
And then use technology to get that knowledge. So now there is social media, there is YouTube, there are books. You must study. One thing about us is that most people think that they don't need any other knowledge, anything. Especially when you have certificate. You think that all that you know is all that you need to know. And yet you look at what you're doing, you see that you're not doing anything with what you know, which means what you know may not take you to where you want to go.
You're right.
So I believe that you must go and look for the book and challenge your thoughts on business, on finance. Because with these two information, you will know what to do.
Okay.
It's the mind. The human being is purely the mind. What your mind processes is what you have become. And so what is feeding your mind is so critical to what you are becoming. The mind is a processing center. If you feed it with quality information, then your life will reflect that. If your mind is constantly being fed with entertainment and sports, then your strength to fight will be difficult. Because when you start, there will be a lot of problems. There will be a lot of challenges. There will be a lot of difficulties. So my submission will be, how do I get the relevant information? Calm down. Understand what you don't know. It doesn't matter the degrees you have. So, agricultural engineering. Even the engineering field. If you take me to electronics, I may not know much there because that's not what I did.
That's right.
So the certificate is only minute of society. A small portion of society. Business is the whole education on its own. That the fact that you have completed this kind of school does not mean you know anything about business. Even those who did business education, because we did business education to go and look for job, not to start business. Even those who are having degrees in entrepreneurship, is to study people who have built businesses, not to go and do it yourself. To do it yourself, you need another kind of data, another kind of information.
So
you must.
If I'm getting you well, it's always about knowing what you do not have. That is where it begins from.
Yes. What you do not have. When it comes to entrepreneurship and business or finance, things like that, you must know. Okay, my background, my father was a lawyer. My mother was a politician. So business was very far from me. Okay, all they were teachers and doctors. It means that I don't have that much. I see businesses from afar, but I don't know the numbers. That's why somebody will ask you, if I have a salary of, say, 5,000, do you think going to start a business will be a better option? You don't compare starting a business with salary. They are in different games at all, different fields. For instance, the guys selling on the street, if you get to know how much they make on the street, then but we all know that when people are paid 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, they think it's big money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the numbers, they don't compare. So the provision shop around your area, the figures they make is It's very far from. So most people think in terms of the salary. And once you think in terms of salary, in terms of numbers, it becomes a bit difficult. So you must know what you don't have. Information.
Wow. Kwabena, it's been amazing having you here this morning. I've picked only one thing that I'm going to run with this year to start finding out about what I know I do not have. It's very, very important because I've seen people start business and most of what they're starting are hearsays. Hearsay where you're topper. I mean, this business is now booming if you go into this one, but doing a clear research about it and finding out even how to run that business, we don't find out. So we have some money and then immediately we start.
Yep.
I'm really happy we had you here. I'm really going to schedule something proper for you to join us in the studio. We take some time on, especially on your book on teaching yourself money.
Oh, okay, sir.
I'm really going to let us share that one with our listeners because this year we really need to move above our strength this year.
Yes.
Many thanks, Kwabena.
Many thanks. Thank you.
All right. God bless you. We're going to get back to you later on. That is Kwabena and Marie. On across biggest motivational breakfast, we're talking to Kwabena and Marie this morning. I just told you about who he is, and this morning we're starting a very, very interesting discussion with him. For the next few minutes, we're going to be talking to